U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-A. This is BlueBrixx Star Trek set 104180. It was released in early 2023 for about €28. This construction set consists of 536 pieces, which are compatible to bricks by other building blocks companies like Lego, Mega, Kobe, and so on. This here is a mid-size scale model of the Enterprise A. BlueBrixx also has published a mini-size model, but I always prefer the bigger models. We do not have a huge display model, but a mid-size model is fine too. But this isn't the first version of this ship BlueBrixx has published. Already about a year prior to the set, in January 2022, BlueBrixx had published the same build, but slightly differently. So you can see that it looks more or less identical, but the box design is differently. So I only got the instructions here. I do not have the box, but the design of the box and the instructions is always identical, so you can see that also the box had another design than the new box. It's still the design of the first wave of BlueBrixx Star Trek sets. And the amount of pieces differs. So the old set only had 504 pieces, and the new set has 32 pieces more. That's because this is an updated version of this build here. There were some problems with the older version, and the new version also got some kind of optical update. But why am I showing you now the old version here? Well, this has something to do with how I planned to purchase the set. BlueBrixx, or better said, this is the old version, and it was sold out quite early. And because of that, BlueBrixx republished the set, but in an updated version a year later. But this was also sold out quite early, and because of that I never had the set. And then quite recently BlueBrixx announced that they no longer have the Star Trek license, which means they are not going to produce new Star Trek sets. It turned out that Lego has acquired the rights, and BlueBrixx simply can't compete with the amount of money that Lego is able to put on the table, and this is why we do not get any new BlueBrixx Star Trek sets. But this also means that resellers really want to have much money for their sets now. And you have to invest about €90 to get the set. And I also saw it getting sold for €120. But for me personally, this is just too much for a set with about 5,000 pieces. And this is why I tried something else. The older version of the set is cheaper, or at least it used to be cheaper. I bought the old version of the set in the same week as BlueBrixx announced they no longer have the Star Trek rights, and this means that not everybody already knew that there are not going to be new sets, and so I guess I was simply lucky. I could buy the old set in used condition for about €30. So here are the instructions, and I also got the ship itself and the stand. As you can see, the set is not complete. The part which connects the ship to the stand is missing. So this isn't really something important. Oh, you can see that I dropped one of the nacelles. This is one of the problems of the old set, but we'll talk about this later. So what I was missing, or what I am missing of the old set, are just, yeah, not even a handful of pieces. I think it's about 5 or 6 pieces. Yeah, these 5 pieces here didn't come with my used set. But this isn't really a problem. I think I even have these pieces as spare pieces somewhere in my collection. But it wouldn't have been a problem to buy them on Rebrickable or on Bricklink or from China. But I didn't even plan to buy these pieces because my plan was to have the old ship as a base, and I also bought the instructions for the new ship. So I could buy the old ship for about 30 euros, and I had to pay about 5 euros for the instructions for the new ship. My plan now was to compare the inventory lists of both instructions and then buy from some Chinese shop the missing pieces. So there are some additional pieces in the new instructions, and yeah, I would have to compare the lists and then only buy the pieces which are not part of the old build. And yeah, once these pieces arrived at my home, I would disassemble the old ship, and with the help of the instructions of the new ship and the new or additional pieces, I would build it in the new way. And yeah, this was a way how I quite cheaply would have been able to get the new version. I didn't find the time to go through the inventory lists, and this was good because in the meantime I found somebody who sold me this set here, the new version, still sealed, for about 25 euros. And that's just perfect. So what I'm going to do now is to build the new set. Then I'm going to compare it with the old set. Oh my god, even more parts fell off. And yeah, after that I'm going to keep the new set, and I guess I will sell the old set and also the instructions of the new set, because now of course I got this one 2 times. Oh, by the way, as you can see here on the back side, it wouldn't have even been a problem that this part here is missing, those translucent pieces, because they are not part of the new build. The new build has round pieces here, and the old build has these square pieces, so this isn't even a problem. Okay, then let's have a look at the box. So here we get to see the completed build without the stand on the front. And on the back side, we get to see the complete build with stand, yeah, from different angles. And as you can see here, it says that the Enterprise A is from Star Trek 5. If I remember correctly, we could even see it in Star Trek 4, but yeah, it plays a way more important role in the 5th movie, so I think it's okay to release this as part of their Star Trek 5 series, or whatever you want to call it. Alright, then it's time to open the box. Inside the box we find another box which contains the bricks, which come in numbered bags, and the instructions, which we already saw before. As you can see, the bags with the bricks are numbered, which means we get different building sections. There are 2 building sections, and So I guess there are only bags with number 1 and 2 on them. And there's also this bag here, which doesn't come with a number at all. The print is, in its own bag to avoid it getting scratched, I guess. I'm going to open now all the bags with the number 1 on them, and then I will start with the first building section with step 1-1. I will come back to you as soon as I see something interesting or something simply doesn't work as shown in the instructions. Step 1-2. BlueBrixx uses more or less only standard pieces, but there are some special pieces they use. They got different pieces to reverse the start direction. And these pieces here are one example. So you can see we got 1x1 plates with studs on both sides. And with the help of the building direction, it's no problem to inverse the building direction. And this means when we attach them to another piece, that piece also can have studs on both sides. Step 1-5. Here is another piece with studs on both sides. This time it's also, some kind of plate, but you can see it's clearly thinner than a normal plate. This here is a normal plate, and our special plate here is way thinner. I also think it's quite interesting the building technique they use here. So we attach this special piece to the slope here, and now we attach it to this little segment here, like this, I think. But I really like that it also uses these rings here. Those are normal pieces, nothing special at all. But with these rings here, we can also inverse the building direction. So for example, let's say we want to attach it to this plate here. We can do it like this. Step 1-13. We have incorporated the segment with those rings here. And as you can see, we do not interlock it properly with the studs of the segment on the left side here. But this isn't something I did wrong. It says so explicitly in the instructions. Please do not press components too tightly. So this little gap here is supposed to be there. Step 1-21. We have built this little segment here. This is the part which connects our ship to the stand itself. And as you can see, we have to be precise here. Here's a little image to, we have to hold the segment next to the image or above the image. And then we can see that the axle, which peeks out of this little element on the top and on the bottom, that it has the same length as it is supposed to have. And now it should be no problem to insert it in here. Yeah, that worked just fine. And then let's hope that the top part of the axle also has the correct length, so that it isn't a problem to interlock it with the ship itself. Step 1-23. We have completed the stand. Now finally it's time to start with the ship. Step 1-25. In this step we are going to use a piece which I haven't used before. It's a pin connector with 4 pins. The Lego company introduced this piece in 2004, and so far it appeared in almost 300 Lego sets. Step 1-32. Here is another technique which BlueBrixx uses to inverse the building direction, which we don't get to see with Lego sets. I showed you this technique in a lot of other BlueBrixx sets before. So we get this bar here, which we use as a tool to place this single stud, this only stud here, on the underside of, for example, a plate here. So we turn an anti-stud into a regular stud with the help of this special piece here, which we do not get to see in the Lego universe. So, let me just place the camera and can I show you how I do this. First of all, we take the bar and stick it in that only stud. And now we take our piece at which we want to place the only stud. So we get this plate here. We place the single stud here, and then we push down the stud with one of our fingernails, and at the same time we remove the bar like this. And now we have turned one of the anti-studs into a regular stud, to which we can attach another piece, for example this 1x1 slope here. Just like this. Step 1-80. We have completed the first building section. So what we have done so far is that we have built the stand and the lower part of the Enterprise A. The bricks so far are alright. They work totally fine. There's absolutely no problem with the clutch power. The prints just look perfectly. Those are really great prints. But those are the typical Xingbao bricks, which come with these ugly injection holes on some of the studs. Hopefully most of the studs in the final build are covered so that we don't get to see the ugly injection holes, but when we have a look here at the front cover of the instructions, we can see that at least up here there's a row of studs which are uncovered. Let's hope that there are no injection holes on those studs. Well, alright, then let's go on now with building section number 2, in which we are going to complete the build. Step 2-7. In this step we are going to use a printed 1x10 brick. And as you can see, it comes in its own bag attached to another printed brick. They have, pre-assembled those two bricks here so that they can print on them in one single go. Because of that we got this perfect print. If they had printed both pieces individually, then it might have happened that the prints are not aligned perfectly. So you can see here that the N just is one single N, but when we would have printed, or if we had printed on both pieces, it might have happened that you can see the outer red lines, that they wouldn't have aligned at all, for example. And this way we really get a perfect print. We just have to disassemble it before we can place it on our build, if we want to follow the instructions. Step 2-16. We have completed the upper part of the saucer section. I think it's the part where the bridge is located. And I showed you earlier that we get to see a lot of uncovered studs here. But the good news is that there are no ugly injection holes on those studs. All the ugly studs are covered. That's really cool. Step 2-24. we have completed the saucer section, and we also have already married it with the lower part of the ship. Now we can build those little constructions to which the warp nacelles are attached. At least I think this is what we are going to do now. Yeah, I think so. Step 2-54. In this step we have to place these two pieces here. So you can see one of them is black, the other one is blue. Well, that's the wrong one. Actually, we have to place this translucent blue one. But it's quite difficult to see in the instructions which one is the black one and which one is the translucent blue one. I guess that this is the black one and that is the translucent blue one. So our build should look like this. But I'm not completely sure. Step 2-64. We have completed the build. And I think it's really a cool upgrade compared to the original version of the Enterprise A. So let's have a closer look at it. Here in the front we got the saucer section. On top of it there is the bridge area. Here in the front we get to see the how do you call it? The registration number of the ship. That's the NCC-1701-A. And here in the back, oh come on, focus. Here in the back we get to see the ship's name. It's the U.S.S. Enterprise. And yeah, here also on the underside there are some attachments. I'm not quite sure what this is all about, but maybe some Trekkie has more knowledge about the Enterprise than I do. Then here in the back, I think we get to see the sublight engines. And then here, of course, are the huge warp nacelles, which are connected via those constructions here to the main body. I think the warp core is somewhere down here. At least that is where it is placed on the other Starfleet ships. We also get to see some windows here. The prints are really cool. Here the Starfleet logo. And here in the front there is the main deflector dish. The ship's neck really is sturdy compared to the old version. Then down here we get to see those translucent or transparent pieces which attach the ship to the stand, and we can remove the ship from the stand quite easily. I don't think that this is how it's supposed to be. Normally, I think it should look like this. So this is the stand without a ship, and this part here belongs to the Enterprise. Can I reattach it with? No. Let me place the camera for a second. Then it's easier to reattach this little segment to the ship itself. How could this happen? Strange. Yeah, I have repaired it. Alright, you can see that one of those clear pieces is attached to the ship itself. It's not attached to the stand. But that's alright. because with the help of it, we can very easily place the ship on its stand. It's easy to do with 2 hands, but since I have to hold the camera with 1 hand, it looks more difficult than it really is. Okay, I have reattached it. The stand itself, is in the shape of the Starfleet emblem. And also the color is correct, fitting to the emblems of the original series. It's golden. And to the stand itself, there is this little plaque attached, which gives us some information about the ship. There's really not much information. We only get to know the length of 304.8 meters. And we also get to see the silhouette of the ship and its name. It's also cool that we get to see here the Star Trek 5 logo. The ship really is sturdy. You could see with the old ship that it fall apart at the moment I touched it, but you can really handle this thing here without destroying it. Well, now let's compare it to the old ship, or to the old version. I think, first of all, we recognize that the colors are differently done here than on the new ship. So here we got these translucent blue pieces, and that's another color here. That's azure. I don't know what kind of color this is. Another shade of blue, and it's not translucent. Also, this part here is done differently, and the whole bridge area is smaller at the old ship than at the new ship. I really like that we don't get to see ugly injection holes here, that the studs with the ugly injection holes are all covered by tiles, so that's very well done. But we can also see that they didn't update the prints, and because of that, it looks a bit strange here. The print comes very close to the bridge part here, and at the old ship there's way more space between the print and this bridge area attachment, whatever you want to call it. Well, what's also made differently is that the warp nacelles are now way sturdier. You can see here the connection was done with the help of, here's just a bar, and to which these 3 plates, or 2 plates with 3 studs are attached, to which the whole weight of the nacelle is attached. Over here, the whole thing is supported from below and from above, and the whole connection is done differently, and this here is really sturdy. It doesn't fall apart there. You can really grab it here and nothing happens at all. And you don't simply have to look at this thing here and it starts to fall apart. Also, the ship's neck is done differently, at least slightly. And because of this, it just, stays in place. There's no problem with the clutch power of the old set either, but the construction techniques are just not done so well. The techniques used here give the whole ship way more sturdiness, because you can see the ship definitely looks fragile. It's It has very thin areas, but with the right connections, with the right techniques, everything just stays in place. Another difference is the deflector dish. The old model comes, with only these two dish pieces here. It's quite a simple deflector dish, but the new model comes with a way more fancy dish. You can see here that we got these 1x1 plates with clip which surround the deflector itself, and we also got this black thing up here. I don't know what this is supposed to be. By the way, I never like the ingots by Xingbao because they come with these ugly injection holes here, but I think that's more or less the only visible injection hole on the whole set, and this is really cool. We can see here in the back there are also these slopey things, but they actually got quite good injection holes. Those are injection points, those are not holes, so that's totally fine. What else differs? Oh yeah, the stand. So this here is the old stand, and of course the new stand uses round pieces and the old stand doesn't. But as I said before, my set or my used set didn't come with those pieces which we need for the stand, or better said, for the part which connects the stand to the ship. So the translucent or transparent pieces used with the old model were square, like shown here, and the new ones are round. And this also means that they are connected to the stand itself differently, but that's just a minor difference. And another difference is also that we got a new plaque. It's slightly updated. So one update is that the year differs now, and the biggest update is that the logo is differently done here. So the new set comes with the Star Trek 5 logo, and the old set only says Star Trek. I think it's the original series logo. Well, it's a really cool update. The only thing which maybe I think was better with the old set is that on the back side of the box and the instructions we get to see this. I think it's the logo of the United Star Federation, of the Federation logo. I can't really remember how these organizations are called. I'm not a Trekkie. I like Star Trek, but I'm not too deep into the lore. And yeah, the new set only comes with the Star Trek 5 logo. But I think this is nothing you should care about. The important thing is that the new ship really is sturdy, and this was a update very well done. I'm happy that I got a new ship here, and if you want to build a set too, I would say have a look for the new ship. Don't buy the old ship. When you buy the old ship, also try to get instructions for the new ship and just buy the missing parts and turn the old ship into the new ship.